Morning, Fabian. Good to see you again. Can we just start with the latest injury news, fitness updates with your squad, please?
Yeah, so hopefully everyone will come healthy back from their international games. We don't see everyone yet, so I don't know exactly what is about Julio and Purvis. They are the latest arrivals. We will see them today, and then we will know more. Of course, the injuries from Matt and Joao still take a little bit more time. Also with James Milner, we have to be more patient. It takes also a little bit more time, and I think the rest will be available for the squad. And Adam is another player who will miss the game against Newcastle, but the rest will be available.
And that goes for Jean-Paul as well. He's back training. Is he available for Saturday?
Yeah, he will be an option.
Away from Brighton this week, a fellow German has been appointed the new England head coach, Thomas Tuchel. What do you make of that appointment?
I'm happy for him. So I really admire him. I think he proved that in the past that he can be very successful with his teams, and he can build a successful team quite fast. And I think that's also a challenge, especially for the national teams. So when we look at this club, the former clubs, he always was able to be successful in a short time, and I think that's exactly the challenge he will face for England. So I'm very happy for him and his team, and I wish him all the best.
I know you've spoken about his influence on you before at Brighton. So what kind of thing can England expect from him?
Like I said, I think a coach who has the skills to build a successful team in a really short time, and I think that's a special skill, and not everyone is able to do this. And on top of that, for me, he's able to make the players better. He plays with a clear structure. He has a tactical intelligence. You see it. I saw it especially also in the Champions League games last season against Arsenal. For me, also against Real Madrid, where in my opinion they deserve to get to the final, and you only can win these games by being tactical clever. And I think he proved it, and that's why, in my opinion, I know there are different opinions already in the public, but in my opinion, he's a good choice for the English team.
And just finally on this one, he said that he wants to win the World Cup. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I like people who are self-confident and have a clear vision, a clear goal. And it will be interesting. We have in Germany a good coach with Nagelsmann. I think we have now a very good coach also for the English Federation. So there will be for sure two nations, two countries who will fight, who will compete for the world champion. I know there are quite other good countries and nations to compete for the world champion, but with these two German coaches, I think the percentage is high that some of them might win the world champion.
Just another one away from the football at the moment. The sad news about George Balock came out last week. Obviously, his brother Sam is on the staff here. How are the club dealing with him at the moment?
Yeah, I think I only can say that we as a club, myself, we feel really sorry for him and also for the family, and we as a club, we give him the support he needs, we give him the time he needs. It's a bad situation, especially for him and his family, and we are here to support him. I think Brighton proved it all the time, also in the last recent years when things happen. The club is there for the players, but also for the staff members, and that's again now a challenge for us to support the family, to support Sam, and to stay together, and to give him the time he needs.
Just a bit of the football now. Did that international break come at a bit of a frustrating time for you, given the performance that happened just before it?
There are always like advantages, disadvantages of an international break. But again, it's like the schedule, and we have to accept it, and we try to make the best out of it. And now it's about getting back all the players as quick as possible, trying to immediately bring in their mind again what is the identity from Brighton, because I think in all the different national teams they experienced different things, but here when we come together we immediately try to build again this identity what we had before, and hopefully we can manage this in these 2 days. It's a short time regarding the match against Newcastle, but I'm sure we will manage this in a good way, and now we try to get the mindset in the right way to be ready for this tough game.
Danny Welbeck's goal moved him above Eric Cantona in the all-time Premier League goal-scoring charts. Are you surprised at just how good he is being for you this season?
Not surprised, no, because I see him working every day, and special character, special player. First, I think I already mentioned this a lot of times, how important he is, not only for the club, also for me and for his teammates, and that's why I'm not surprised, because I'm always convinced if you work hard, if you have a passion for something, if you are disciplined and are passionate for something, then you will be long-term successful and you get what you deserve. And at the moment, he gets what he deserves.
Just finally from me, I know you spent lots of time with other managers before getting this job at Brighton. Did you ever come across Eddie Howe in that time, and what do you make of his Newcastle side?
Unfortunately not, but of course he's a great coach, so I think he's a long time now already a Premier League coach, and quite successful, and that's why I have a big respect for him, and I'm really looking forward to compete with him. I know it will be tough there, because Newcastle is a team which playing quite intense. The stadium, what I heard, is one of the best atmosphere in the Premier League, so yeah, we're really looking forward, and I have huge respect for Eddie Howe and his team, for sure.
My first question, Fabian, was going to be, have you ever been there? But you've just answered that, you haven't. By the sound of it,
I haven't been, no. But I'm really looking forward. So I hear it now all the time that everyone said it's one of the best atmospheres in the Premier League. So after the Amex, I think the second best. So we are really looking forward to go there. It will be a big challenge for sure. It will be intense, and it's important to have a cool head there. So it will be emotional, and I think emotions are important for a football game. But in the most important moments, you have to stay calm and you have to think rational without emotions. And that's why it will be a mix between having like a cool head and an emotional head.
Is that exactly what happened at half-time in that Spurs game? Staying calm, keeping a level?
Trusting the own quality, trusting the process, focus on the things you can control, focus on the small things, and then you will gain your self-confidence. And I think that will be also the challenge for the Newcastle game. So it's not that you go there and can play the best football. No, it will be a fight. It will be like you have to work for the game, you have to work for the momentum, and you work for it by doing the duels. You have to go into duels, you have to win them, you have to be ruthless, and then when you win the duels, you can gain self-confidence, and then you will get the momentum, and then also the quality from us might be shining if you have the confidence and can play football. But before that, it's working, fighting.
You're side by side in the table at the moment. Do you see Newcastle as a direct rival for the kind of positions that you want to be in come the end of the season?
I think it's too early to talk about this, but of course there are a lot of big clubs who want to achieve great things, and I think Newcastle is a big club and they want to achieve great things. And like I said in the beginning, we don't try to hide of anyone, and we try to go forward. We try to play with courage. We try to act with courage, and that's why we also try to go there and win the game. But for sure, like I said, Newcastle is a big challenge for us, and I'm really looking forward for this challenge, and I'm looking forward if we can manage this challenge.
I was reading a piece by the excellent Andy Naylor behind me from The Athletic about how many different nations you have in your squad, 23, the most in the Premier League. Have you learnt anything from the first international break, because you didn't manage to get a result after the break, compared to how you might treat the players this time around in terms of physical readiness?
I learned something, but it doesn't mean that it immediately function. Now the next games, like I said, I learn every day. Players learn every day. We as a club, we learn every day. But for sure, it's a challenge if you have like a lot of national players away, and then, like I said, they experience different principles, different games, and now we have to bring them all back and immediately get in their mind the Brighton Hove Albion identity, and this will be the biggest challenge. And therefore, I'm hoping that we learn from the international break last time. But for sure, the results weren't there, but the performance were quite good. So I think we always have to see this in relation, and that's why, yes, we learn from it. Hopefully, the methods we tried or we will try will work, but I can't see in the future.
I imagine it must be a nightmare for your data science and your sports science team, getting the information from so many different players across the world, how fit they are, how ready they are to play.
Yeah, it's not the best time, to be honest, but it's a challenging time, and it's part of the schedule. And if you want to be a top team, you have to manage exactly these things, because I think when we look at the top teams in the Premier League, they have the national players all the time away, and they are able to manage it over a long period. And I think that's also the next step for us as a club to manage exactly these international breaks in a good way, without losing the results afterwards, or without needing too much time to get back to the performance we showed before the international break.
Just last one from me. It's been a great start, obviously, but you have conceded the most goals in the top half at the moment. Is that a number that you expect just to settle down once the team have played more time in your style?
It must be settled down if you want to be successful. And I always say, although it's a old-fashioned sentence, but I'm convinced that defense wins championship. And I think we have to improve the way we defend. And of course, it starts with the striker, it ends with the goalkeeper, but it's always like a togetherness. And I know there's big quality, individual quality in the other teams. So we faced now Chelsea, we faced Tottenham with big individual quality, but we will face the same individual quality now against Newcastle. And the challenge will be, or the most important thing will be, that we don't concede a goal, and that we are all clear that everyone has responsibility to defend. And if we have this mindset, I think that the first step is done. But then, of course, we have to behave also tactically in the right way. I was quite happy how we defended against Tottenham the second half. I think there was this togetherness. There was clever how we defend as a team, and this has to be the benchmark for us, because you can't concede that many goals if you want to reach your goals.
Thank you.
Fabian, one player who didn't go away was Solly March, but he did play half an hour for the under-21s. Did he come through okay, and how do you see him progressing at the moment after a long time out?
I think, like I said also in the last press conference, we need to give him a lot of time, because being back after such a long injury is not a comeback which will go like linear. It's more like a comeback with waves, and there will be up and downs, and you need to accept the up and downs. Not only we as a staff or we as a coaching team, also Solly as a player has to accept these up and downs, because they are normal after long injury. But he's doing quite good mentally and physically, and he is in a good way. He has the right mindset. He's a positive guy, and we have to be patient with him, but I'm sure we're on the right way.
Yasin Ayari scored for Sweden while he was on international duty. What potential do you see there, and is he slightly different to some of the profile of the players that you have in that part of the pitch currently in the squad?
I'm very happy for Yasin. So we followed his games at Sweden, and he just confirmed what he showed for us. Not in the games, because he didn't get the match time maybe he deserved in the last games, but he showed in every training his development the last weeks here, and he has a special ability for sure. He can play intense in both directions. He can attack the opponent's box. He can defend our box. He can train every day like really intense. He can turn in different or in special spaces in the opponent's half. He has a good feeling for the space there, and that makes him a special player. And I'm really happy for him and his development. But of course, there's still things to improve, and hopefully we can give him the match time he deserves. But again, it's a big competition in our squad to gain or to receive this game time, and he is part of it.
Newcastle will have a Swedish international potentially back in Alexander Isak. How does that sort of change your mindset going into the game, not knowing whether he'll be featuring or not? And does that change your game plan at all, in bearing in mind the style of play that Newcastle have?
Not really, because they're all fast. So I think if you measure them sprinting, they're all maybe on the same level. So it doesn't matter who plays as a striker. I think the last game was Gordon, and Barnes played at the left. So no matter who is playing there, they have all the skill and ability to hurt like a back line in the Premier League, and they have all the individual quality to make the difference in one situation. So we have to take care all the time, no matter who's playing. Of course, Isak, he's a striker with special skills. I already know him. I knew him in this time when he played for Dortmund in the Bundesliga, and that's why yes, he's a great player. He has a great skill, and will be a big challenge for us to defend him.